Hi, my name's Reed, and I'm going to be talking to you guys today about sexism in advertisement, and specifically a very narrowed down branch of advertisement, and that is French advertisement. The reason I'm narrowing it down so much is because I actually spent my high school years in Paris growing up, and high school is a time in our lives, especially for girls, I think, where we're trying to figure out ourselves and trying to get a general consensus about what the female body should be. And advertisements, I think we can agree, in a small part or a large part, does play a part in that, in our self-perception. And I think it's interesting to note the differences between how the French people, while I was there, treated their females in their advertisements versus females here in America. And the general consensus that I tended to get from people when I asked them about this while I was there was that the French culture as a whole was more sexist than American culture. While I do agree that they are sexist, as in almost any culture is nowadays, unfortunately, I don't think sexism is free from any culture. I don't think they're inherently more sexist than American. The reason that people say that they are more sexist is because their advertisements where they're trying to sell products such as an alcoholic beverage or products for women, the women in these advertisements show a lot more skin than female advertisements do here in America. They are not ashamed of showing more skin at all, and that's just a cultural norm for them. And I do agree that it's sexist in the fact that they are being dehumanized and discriminated against in these advertisements, that the women in these advertisements, they're not naked for themselves, they're naked as a sexual object for somebody else, and they're trying to create an ideal for the woman they're advertising to. They're trying to create a perfect body ideal for the women who come across these advertisements. There wasn't a single not skinny woman that was in all these advertisements, but that also gets into the national average weight in France versus America, which is very different, but still, it's not a very realistic body type. And so in that respect, I do think that their advertisements were playing a more pleasing role for the people they were buying for, which implies that they were sexist. It was interesting to note while I was looking into this that in 2004, a lot of feminists in France were fighting up against this stereotype, as they are doing in America, I know too. And a female director who directed advertisements decided to advertise men as sexual objects, which started a very big fuss with the media, who were predominantly male-based, and people didn't like it, and it's not surprising to see that as soon as the tables are turned, the norm is put into question. And I do remember when I was there were advertisements I saw that where men were used as a sexual object instead of women. But coming back to this, I can definitely see how the French culture as a whole is trying to evolve and get rid of that stereotype that they are like sex fiends and that they treat their women horribly, because it's not entirely true. But I don't think that it's necessary that because their women show more skin that means that they are more sexist. It's not the skin itself that's making the problem. It's the intent. And women in advertisements here can cause just as much harm by showing no skin at all if they're still being a sexual object for advertisements here. They can still do just as much damage as a completely naked woman in an advertisement in France, because a body is a body, and that doesn't change no matter how much clothes you take off of them or put on them. And just because they have a different cultural norm from them, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are more sexist. It just means that they are bartering to a different culture, and they're using that cultural norm to their advantage, which America does all the time in its advertisements. It takes advantage of the fact that men want to see very skinny women and women want to see women who look pretty that they can be like. And that's about it. I think those are my points, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.